let's talk about the what you got going on, the Cup deal, and kind of how you people don't. You've worked for it. You've grinded. I mean, there's a lot of people that's stepped out a little bit on the. I don't know. I mean,
it takes people, man. It takes.
I wouldn't say put out there on a limb or stuck their neck out for you, but kind of they have. You've had a lot of help along the way to get it, and you've worked hard for it because you knew deep down you could do it.
Yeah, I mean, it takes good relationships. You've had a lot of people that have helped you for a long time, just like I have. I mean, that's why we're still hanging around Brandon, you know, and
he has not cut me a deal on no damn shock, though. I'm going to go ahead and tell you.
But we can all drink a beer and have a good time together, that's all that matters. But, like, for me, I figured out pretty quickly it takes everything. It takes sponsors to get these cars. Like, at the end of the day, those light switch, you know, the lights to turn on at the shop. That light just went out.
I'm glad somebody else saw that.
It's been blinding me the whole damn time.
Yeah.
You know, that stuff costs money.
It does.
You know, building relationships. I've had a long-time supporter, Mohawk Construction, Mohawk Northeast in Connecticut. Racechoice.com is a local company out of Connecticut. You know, so I've just built a lot of relationships up there. And then United Rentals and Morton Buildings, Hunt Brothers Pizza, all them with Kevin. So a lot of just different people supporting you.
But when you got started with this deal, I mean, you had what? I mean, would you say you had the 3-race shot and that was it? Or are you
talking about like 6 years ago?
No, I'm talking about the beginning.
You're talking about?
I'm talking about when you went and did the Gibbs deal, the first deal.
Oh, it was 2.
It was make or break, right?
Yeah.
That's
and I was in debt. That what people don't realize
is
my wife, I didn't tell her. It's probably really bad. Sorry, but
there's a lot of stuff.
We're about $100,000 in debt. Yeah. She didn't know it yet.
Yeah,
I did.
Now,
I had
were
a
y'all
credit
married
card
at the time.
We had just got married. We had a small condo in Broadbrook, Connecticut, and my credit card was maxed out because I had to pay for my NASCAR license on top of what we had for sponsors. And you know, for the second race, I didn't have the whole thing sold. Yeah, so I borrowed money. Yeah,
and that's what a lot of people I think didn't know. I mean, you stuck your neck out there it was make or break.
And it could have gone the other way, man. Yeah. I could have got wrecked on lap 1, both races. A pit crew could have missed a lug, or you know, something could have happened. It was all meant to be. But at the end of the day, I was confident in myself that if I had the right people, the right cars, fast cars, I can go out and I could execute, and we did.
And it showed. It paid off.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what it's all about. And you're a true racer, and that was kind of a breakthrough moment.
Yeah, that changed my life.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always been a big fan of yours on is your just belief in yourself and willing to just strap all the pressure on your back and just make it happen, right? Like if there's a wall there, you've kicked it down. Like your
that's
whole
everything.
life,
I mean, even that I consider what I did 2 years ago. I had the right people, but most people will never understand the odds that I had stuck against me for this Snowball Derby.
2 years ago?
2 years ago.
You didn't have no help.
I didn't have no help.
You didn't have.
Hey, how about
you didn't have a trailer, Harley?
So check this out. When
he didn't have a trailer, it wasn't his.
It wasn't my trailer. It wasn't my truck. I broke a serpent or a alternator pulley in a parking lot 10 miles from here. I had to Uber to Napa.
That's right.
To go get an alternator pulley, which I thought was a belt. Couldn't get the new belt on, so the old belt was just kind of there. Yeah, man. Most people will never hear this, but the wildest thing about this, Eddie, my owner, and I had talked about doing it. So I committed to buying the car. He was going to buy the motor. Yeah. And when all that went down, I bought the motor. I took it on, and I said, you know what? I'm doing this. Him and I were going to do it. I'm going to go do it. I didn't get that car until November 1st.
Yeah.
Somebody who's never built a late model. Yeah. Like, all these things.
You had about 20-something days there to build it.
Barely. And I had to drive up to New York to go race Eddie's big race with his car, prepare it. So there was a 4-day or 5-day period I lost working on that car. So it was a grind. I remember my wife, she looked at me like I was nuts because it was 4 a.m. till midnight. Go lay down for a couple hours and come back out. And those are the things. That's why if people ever talk about me and, you know, or they don't know my whole story, I really don't give a shit. Yeah. Because I know what I do to go out and to what Brandon says and it really comes down to like your father, right? My father has never been somebody that just throws in the towel. Yeah. It's I don't care if I need to ratchet strap this thing on. We're going to get it. We're going to get going.
You find a way to make it happen.
Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of a lost thing in society right now when it comes to building businesses or, do whatever it takes. I mean, if it takes this, you do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the job done.
Yeah.
No matter what it takes. And I agree. And it's kind of, I mean, you're down here in an open trailer with the Harvick deal, right? I mean, not open trailer.
No, we're in a stacker, bud.
Are you in the stacker?
We are in a stacker.
Oh, nice.
With heat.
With heat.
So we've changed. We picked
this week.
We picked up the game a little bit in 2 years, right?
Well, it's still not his. It's still borrowed.
Yeah. It's not mine, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but it shows, like, you come down here doing that, like, you've kind of, you're doing it yourself, really. I mean, you kind of stepped out, and then 2 years ago, you was kind of in the same position. When you did the Xfinity deal with Gibbs, you're kind of in the same position still. It's just working hard, getting it done.
Well, and that's what, I don't know. So when I put people in race cars, my race cars, when I have, like, I'm going to pay for those things because I felt like I always needed that opportunity. I'll never forget. This was 12 years ago or whatever. There was somebody at a racetrack, and I sent him he gave me his business card. I sent him an email. I said, hey, man, I ain't got any money, but I just need a shot. I'll work. I'll do whatever it takes. Okay. Never emailed me back. Yeah. And I just, it's things like that, so I'm not going to do that to somebody else. Yeah. If I truly stand behind somebody and I think they're good and I can financially do it, I'm going to put them in that race car. It's the same thing Kevin does with me for these, those truck races. Back in 2021, when I was going to be out of that JTG car, he put together 2 truck races for me, and I went out and I won my first one. I won the race. And then coming down here with the Super with the help of Morton Buildings, he puts me in this race car, and he knows that because same thing with Josh Berry. Like, we're going to do what it takes to win. That's right. We're there, and he's.
The Cup deal, is it everything what you thought it was going to be? Like,
these new cars are badass.
Are they?
Yeah.
That sounded sarcastic.
I love it. No, I mean, it's like a modified.
Is it?
To me, it is. Like going to a quarter mile at LA Coliseum, we should run them every week.
How, what, really?
I loved it. Everybody else didn't, but that's like my little playground.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the quarter mile stuff. It's not bad. I've won some races on the quarter mile. It's Citrus. Slinger? Yeah.
You got to go to Slinger, man. I'm telling you. You got to figure it out.
I'll work on it.
So tell us a little bit about the let's talk, I mean, because you're right now, the big deal is the wreck. I mean, that was pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I watched on TV. I was watching it. I was watching it, and I went in the room or something, or I was doing something with the wife and kids, and Mark texted me. He's like, dude, did you see this? Or I think we was at the racetrack, actually. We were somewhere. It doesn't matter. But he's like, did you see Preece's wreck? I'm like, no, I hadn't saw anything. He's like, dude, you need to go check this out.
Yeah.
It's pretty. So that's like, there's nothing. I mean, you kind of black out at that point.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on.
It got really freaking quiet.
Yeah.
I honestly.
Do you know what's coming? Like, I mean, I know when you were sliding across there.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you, no.
I
thought I was just going through the dirt.
Yeah.
All I can really remember at the beginning, because I closed my eyes and just waited for the roller coaster ride to stop. I got bumped. It turned me, and then I went into the grass, and all of a sudden I remember the front went like this, but it got super quiet. Like, usually when you're sliding like that, tires squealing, grass, you hear all that, and then all of a sudden it's just silence. Huh. That's when you know, oh shit, it's going to get real. And then, it stops. Yeah. Kind of look around. I'm still here.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah. I think the craziest thing really, the first thing that really came to my mind was because I had just had my daughter 2 weeks before that.
Yeah.
And I looked at the nurses or everybody in the infield care center, and I said, I don't care what you want to do, what you want me to do. Give me my phone.
I'd like to call your wife.
I'm going to call my wife.
Yeah.
So, that was...
You didn't... It's crazy how you have kids and you don't think about that when you're like younger and you don't. I mean, obviously responsibilities, but it means a lot to you have family and stuff.
Like it changes, man. You don't think selfishly just about yourself. you know. But there was that, and I don't know. It was wild, but I think for us as race car drivers, we're used to having the opportunity to wreck, right? Yeah. So for us, it's no big deal. Yeah. Well, when you talk to a regular person who may wreck once or twice in their life, they're like, my God, how are you okay? Which the safety of our race cars has helped quite a bit. But to me, like watching that video at first, now it's really like it's really settled in. Yeah. I realize like that could have been bad.
Yeah, it could have been bad.
But to me, afterwards, it was just shit. I wrecked. Yeah, that sucks. I wish I freaking finished. We had a fast race car.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. But man, what an opportunity for the marketing side the following week, right? Like that picture of you look like shit. Your eyes
just saw me on Monday.
Up.
So was that? So did it happen overnight, or was it instant, like black eyes? How's that work?
I don't know. I didn't ask him, but yeah, it was pretty instant. My eyes were red the next day. Yeah. The bruising was pretty.
You're like Ricky Rudd there.
That picture will be an iconic NASCAR picture for decades to come.
Yeah.
When you win races and win championships.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what's,
awesome.
I was really hoping we were going to go and have some crazy Darlington, like go out and win. And that would be wild. Awesome. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was a rough one, but it was, I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm racing, man. Yeah. I don't care if I got a broken rib or whatever.
Right. That's right.
Guys 20 years ago or 30 years ago, did they get out of their race cars?
Yeah.
I ain't getting out of mine.
Yeah.
So what do you think of Darlington? Darlington's my favorite track.
Is it?
It's not your quarter mile, bud.
It's not.
It's not that.
You know, I got to be honest with you. I think I'd have a lot more fun at Darlington if I had 1,200 horsepower. Because right now like in my opinion, what it's become, it's very big momentum.
Yeah.
The outside up against the wall, which is a completely different etiquette or different style to master, right? Yeah. So everything's about finding clean track, or at least up there, it seems to stay cleaner, which then you can carry more momentum. Yeah. Then you have a bunch of speed.
Yeah.
I want the day where I'm really. What's the word I'm looking for?
You want the day where you're pedaling that thing?
Well, not only pedaling, but right now you're kind of searching.
Yeah.
I want to be that guy that hits his marks every single lap, and I'm going to wear you out on the bottom, but I'm going to have the horsepower to get me out of the corner. And right now it's just you got to carry momentum. Yeah. You got to do all those things. So that's just another tool we all want as drivers for our toolbox.
Bubba likes them racetracks where you got to go run against that outside wall.
Does he?
Yeah, oh yeah.
He's a big dirt guy?
Yeah.
I struggled. Last time I did that, I totaled one.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you. So I'll tell you. So we've had some embarrassing moments in racing careers all over, but mine was last year, 2 years ago. I mean, I've done a lot of dumb stuff. I can't remember. It was during the Talladega race, I think 2 years ago. I went over there. You know, I only get to run that dirt car 4 or 5 times a year. It ain't much. Hell, by the time I get decent at it, I don't do it again for 6 months. So they're like, we're getting ready for qualifying there, and they're like, man, you got to ride around the rim. I'm like, all right, Gen 4. We do it at home a little bit. So Talladega is dark. Can't see nothing. So I make one lap of qualifying, or one lap of hot lap. That's all you get is green, white, checkered. Get ready for qualifying. So I'm first lap, I kind of roll around the middle. I was like, oh, this feels pretty good. So I was like, second lap, I'm going to get up there and get me some. I got me some, all right. And I can't see with that thing, and I'm right there around the rim, and this thing jumps the cushion. And when it jumps the cushion, where you pull on the racetrack, it hits it. I swear it picked up speed, 120 miles an hour. So I thought I was dead. Like a dirt car, and a dirt car is probably like hitting an asphalt car. It's different. It seems softer. That dirt car, every time I haven't wrecked hard in it, but when you do, it's big.
Yeah.
It's just however the cage is built and stuff. So I hit
the late
this
model
thing.
body is like sheet metal too.
Yeah, it's all sheet
okay.
metal.
So it's like it makes that big crunch noise instead of your fiberglass.
So I wreck this thing. I get out. It is destroyed. Killed.
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed because I mean I just stepped on it. And wallowed in it, and I climbed back in the car and put my helmet on because all these fans are coming up to the fence to check on me. I was so embarrassed. I climbed on, put my helmet back on, and drug this thing with the wrecker back to the pits. Yeah. Never got out. Never could walk back to the pits. You know, I didn't want nobody talking to me.
I have a similar story, but a different fashion about somebody coming up to the fence. So, 2018, we're at Bronson before Speed Week starts. Throttle hangs going into the corner.
Oh.
Well, I launch the wall. I clear the fence. I'm outside the track, like smoke steaming, fire extinguishers somewhere in the over 10 feet, 20 feet away, went off like a rocket. And all of a sudden, Jeremy Gershner, this racer, come running up to the fence. And anybody that knows him, he's on the chip. You know, he's
Dude,
the high-strung guy.
Man. So is this a pit guy or just a pit?
No, he's a racer. He stopped.
Oh, he's a racer.
Like, I launched out of the track. Yeah. So he stops. He comes running up. Goes, hey! You good?
He said it way faster now.
He did.
He did, I promise.
I said, yeah, man, I'm good. All right. Hustled on down to his car and took off. And, yeah, so that was a wild one.
Come on.
What up?
What's happening?
So we want to know, you got to change that left front fender?
No, it's actually, so that car, we've had it for like 5 years, right? That's the same fender that we led a bunch of laps at the Nashville and got wrecked with Hocevar.
Yeah.
And then it's been
That's not the same fender.
Oh well, I backed in the fence, knocked the whole back half off, but the front stayed around. So that's actually the same one that's been on that. Well, that thing's still on there. So I don't think I am. It's got about a half-inch layer of Bondo underneath there that no one can see. I just keep putting vinyl and Bondo on it.
Damn, maybe that's a trick. Maybe that's what we need to do, right?
Yeah,
it's something.
But when we watched, I seen the picture, there had to be 3 foot of wall left there.
Yeah.
That we just knew it was tore off.
Oh yeah, no, I've hit it probably 4 or 5 times. Just so you know, you messed up when like this. It's all right to scratch it, but when it gets all the way back to where the door seam's at, you done messed up.
I know I can't get that low. My shit won't turn that good.
I'm just like I'll never forget. We were at Oswego many years ago, and open wheel modifieds. When you can't hit a fender, you're gonna rip the left front off. We go out, we do a mock run, and at Oswego, you can see your lap time going to the corner. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to the top of the board. I watch the number go to P1. Well, as I'm watching that happen, I clipped the left front right in the inside wall. Oh, no. My father was waiting at the scales for me. He said, all right, come on, bring it over the scales. Good job. Yeah, I'll see you back over the pits. What? Dragging the left front all the way in.
So everyone, we got Derek Thorn, 2022 Snowball Derby winner here with us.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, exciting weekend. We know you enjoy coming to this place. You've led a lot of laps over the last couple of years. Some of us can't lead any. So
you seem to dominate at this place, man. It seems like it's one of those things. Coming from California, you came out to the California there for a long time and put it to us. And it's this track, as you know, like you go to certain tracks, your packages just happen to work well. Yeah. And, we'd come here a lot of years and struggled. We had cars there for a while. We had a Victory Circle car for a minute.
Man, you took a wild ride here, what, 11, 12?
11 it was, yeah. We'd shown up first time, thought we were going to come out here and be somebody, and we got humbled real quick, blew 2 motors.
Man, yeah, you blew 2 motors that week, that's right.
Yeah, remember, that was last year. It was real cold. No, we didn't.
Y'all had a rough weekend, man. We've all had race, weekends at the racetrack where you don't want to be there, And
you went upside down.
Yeah, we did for a minute. It was actually a pretty gentle wreck, though. I'd do that wreck all day long. Here? No, I do that wreck all day long versus hitting the fence at 100 mile an hour. It just was kind of a gentle. I think it was a missed opportunity after rolling. A body flew off. I should have jumped on top of the roof or something. Yeah. But I think I gained more fans from that one flip. Yeah, they don't remember me for doing well here. They say, man, you got a flip that one time.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, we enjoy coming out to California there. Have you ever run Irwindale? You ever been out there? Man, you can take my car. There we go right there. Right? We can go to Irwindale this year. We can put it in Harvick's trailer if we can work it out.
Yeah.
I just don't want to go that far anymore. Oh my God, it's a tough drive. But I always liked coming out there and racing. We kind of, Brandon's the reason we did it. I think it was 15, 16 there. We just kind of felt like our program was kind of ready, didn't know what it was doing. But we enjoyed going out there. We had a lot of fun. I think was that the first showdown. I think is what it was. They put that deal on with Evergreen, so we went out there and did that deal too. So we had a lot of fun, and
you guys brought a lot of money back out east.
Yeah, we got lucky on that deal. We had a good little run there for a little bit. But, I think do you have GART cars then?
Yeah.
Great American cars?
Well, the hard part for us, like when we were out west, like Ricky Brooks bridged the gap of rules. We had, when we first started coming to the Derby in 12, 13, we had all perimeters out west.
Yeah,
There wasn't
right.
even a straight rail allowed. So like we had to have a separate car just to come back here. And then as that transition and Ricky Brooks kind of bridged that gap in rules, it made it easy for us to acquire Furies and come out here and at least compete.
You think since that point you've seen, and I've saw it a little bit since going out to California, and then coming back here, for the last couple of years going that way. I think I wouldn't say racing's changed out there, but I think in that little period of there, the West, I mean, it took a different, how do I say it? I'm lost for words there. But the racing changed. Like the cars changed. It went through a change there. I thought it was better for short track racing. Do you agree? That y'all could come out here.
And I think it bridges the gap, and it helps. I think I mean, at the end of the day, we're an entertainment sport, and I think when you have guys out west coming out here, you going out west, it just gets eyes and ears in the sport, and it kind of makes everything more equal. Because I feel like the West Coast, I wouldn't say it's the great. People don't see it. If you went out west, it doesn't seem as appealing as winning back east, right? Yeah. But I feel like if you can come out here and compete when you go back home, at least I feel like you're kind of more on an even playing field. At least help even that gap a little bit.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about the modified? He might be too long-legged to get the modified. Huh?
He is super tall.
I think he'll fit. Those things got a pretty small cockpit.
Yeah, they're pretty small.
We stuffed him in one before.
Man, I was wall to wall on that thing.
He was.
Is it a lot more power than Supers?
Well, I never got to have a legitimate shot. We didn't make a couple laps, so I didn't get to really experience it.
Right.
But they are badass though.
The power is about the same. It's just the tire and how the transition from how they drive at night and in the pack. And he always tells me New Smyrna Super Late Model is not the most fun racetrack. Well, in a modified, it is rip it. You know what I mean? You run top, you run middle, bottom, you put it where you want it. And the fun thing about those cars is you make them do what you want them to do. So.
Yeah, for the Supers, the straightaway needs to be a little bit longer, or you need a little bit more motor, one of the two. Like, it's just maxed out.
Have you raced there before? You raced New Smyrna?
Yeah.
Been there?
A couple times with Pat Jet.
Okay, that's right.
Back in the day, yeah. He gave me some pretty cool opportunities. I mean, like coming out here to Pensacola, this place is line dependent. Yeah. But getting to race for him those years, like 15, 16, had to run New Smyrna, some places like that. It's pretty cool.
Where's the line?
No, it's definitely
it's apparently in the inside wall.
That's right.
It's hid inside the wall in there somewhere.
I was just sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, I ain't got that many laps here. I wonder if 3 and 4 you can run about a half groove up and arc it down. Well, you just answered that question. I think you got to put it right in the left front, right on the line.
Well, I'm telling you, I've been here racing here for quite some time now. The line has changed. It's gotten more line sensitive in the last couple of years, I thought. Because Brown say, like, if you didn't arc it out in 3 right here, wouldn't you say back in the Gart days? Early, I mean, you couldn't.
I remember watching like Chase Elliott in the 3 when he was fast, man. It was crazy high in the 3.
Yeah.
The .com on the Pensacola over there's where he used to turn in.
But I can't run your line into 1 is unique. In my opinion, I can't arc it like you do.
See, I can't come close to yours.
Yeah, I couldn't even think. I would be backing in turn 1 wall. I'm watching lap 15 if I run your line.
I'm watching you over there. I'm like, how the hell is he getting close to the inside wall and making that thing?
I'm thinking the same thing, just in reverse.
So it's cool that different people got different driving styles and can get around different places. But what do you think about the weekend?
I think it sucks the weather doesn't look real good. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is a cool event. Like the Derby itself, it's just crazy.
It's something you want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Every year. You know.
I remember being in our hotel. Remember our hotel last year, like we were in the lobby, and then there's like a group of 15 people come from Maine every year. It's something they do. Yeah. And I think you just get a whole mesh of people coming from all over the place that just want to be here and have a good time.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about. What how'd you deal? What'd you think about? How'd your year go so far? I mean, I know. Kind of had some ups and downs there. Kind of doing a different deal. Yeah. Really a new deal, and you got to work all that out. And
it's a change of pace. It's like anything else that's working through. And I think you go through. Depends on the track you're going to, the time of year, how hot it is, and like whether or not your car's happy. Right? You show up to the track, you unload, and the car's right. It makes things easy. I feel like we've had to scrap for some top 3s. We've been there most of the time. North Wilkesboro is kind of a fluke deal. We didn't run real good there. But for the most part, Chris Purdy and Paul Schaefer, those guys have a really good program. It's the same. It's just like kind of.
Man, they built some nice race cars.
They do. I mean, it's all Fury stuff, so I feel like our notebooks and stuff cross-reference really well, and we've had some fun. We haven't won, together yet, but we've had some fun, run well.
Have you gotten to go some places? I know North Wilkesboro you probably hadn't got to go to before, but some of those other places, what do you think? What's kind of track you look forward to going back to next year?
Nashville. I just hope that place doesn't go away. I think that's the one track I went to when I first came down to Northern California.
I'm glad
just
you
big,
like it.
Fast.
No, I'm just like.
But yeah, I thought I-44 was fun. It's just any place you can get car count.
Man,
right?
we had a hell of a race going on I-44.
We did. It kind of sucked. It turned out the way it did.
Yeah.
That thing was rolling the bottom good. Yours was.
I was like, I couldn't pass you around the top because y'all had it both covered.
Yeah.
And I was tight when I went up there.
Yeah.
So I was like, hell, I'm gonna try it and just make it work. And
it worked.
Somehow it worked. But yeah, it's just kind of. I ended up. There was a little instance deal there, but I wasn't gonna make it through the second race anyways. Come find out, we had a spur gears coming out the back of it, so we wasn't gonna make it through the second race. So we kind of got lucky there. But that was a pretty cool place. It's hard to pass. A lot of fun, but.
North Wilkesboro's getting repaved, right?
Yeah, I don't know if y'all. I know the modified's going back. I think
so.
Late model stock's going back, sure,
yet.
but I've heard nothing for the supers yet. I don't
Pros
think
and stocks are going twice.
Yeah.
And modifieds are going back, I think.
When do they put out all these schedules? When is like ASA or
Man,
SRL?
it's been late. I think they're going to do
It'll be
PRI.
PRI.
Yeah. So.
Are you going to go to Berlin? You got to go to Berlin.
Man, I went there.
Berlin.
There's 3 tracks on my list that I just cannot.
Man, that Berlin's
love.
got Derek Thorn written all over.
I'm telling you,
man.
Berlin,
You gotta go.
Greenville Pickens.
Greenville Pickens?
Yeah, and then one of that Cayuga track before they repaved it up there in Canada. Those are the 3 tracks where I got there and we were fast. I just burnt tires off and ended up laps down. So I'm like, I don't like them places.
So you've been to Berlin?
I have one time back in 07.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, I got
Didn't
that
you tell
same
me you
problem. I
burned
burned
the
tires
off
off
at
it.
Tucson?
Yeah, I burnt tires. I don't like Tucson
Yeah, so
either.
it's 4 tracks.
Struggle.
They're trying to talk me into going to Tucson. Is it Chili Willy that week before Irwindale or something?
Yeah, it's back-to-back weeks to Irwindale, right?
Yeah.
That's that was my vote.
Yeah.
You're
I think
gonna
Berlin,
go
I'm
do
gonna
both.
have to get back in the saddle for Berlin though. I'm gonna have to try it again at least.
Man, I'm
some point
telling
in
you.
time. The Schaefer's right there. They're like an hour away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes
they're
sense.
not far.
That's
It's
a
an
unique
awesome
place.
racetrack.
It's pretty neat, but a lot of people, man, you've been around a long time. I
Yeah.
mean, you didn't get to come out east here until I guess 11. There, it's probably the first time you really.
Yeah.
But you won a lot of races, done a lot of championships in that east deal.
6 SRL
In the
championships.
SRL,
Yeah.
A couple in the West, but like it's just one of them things. It's at some point in time, like you did. I wouldn't say it's discredited, but I've been. Like, you just gotta play the card you're dealt, right? You're dealt a certain hand,
right.
and I've been just fortunate. Like with Byron, gave me 10 years there driving
Yeah.
that I otherwise would have never got.
Yeah.
So it's just, and I've been fortunate to have guys that have given me chances and stay behind me, have faith in me,
Yeah.
just as sponsors, and that's what keeps all this going.
And that's what we was talking about Pepperjack here, being with you guys and you and how they've helped you, and not only you, but what they've done for short track racing. We was talking about it earlier, the giveaways, the best average finisher earlier this year. They've helped a lot of people, and we need those guys like the Tool Shack and so many different people that get involved with the sport and stay around for a while, like the Camels has been there. And we hate they shut their operation down. We don't ever want to see people go out of the sport, but it's people.
It's an expensive sport.
It is. It's tough, and it's gotten tough over the last couple of years. And
So how did you get hooked up with Pepperjack?
So I've known Marty and Misty for the last 20 years.
So put the
Northern
connection
California,
there.
right?
Yeah.
So put the connection there because it's now what's the Wisconsin connection? Because I don't know it either. So you're originally from? Are you from? You're not from
Northern
Wisconsin?
California. So about 2 hours inland off the coast, a few hours north of San Francisco. Grew up there. Obviously, that was the smallest little bubble you could have ever lived in for racing. I don't think anybody even knew racing existed from anywhere else besides us. But I met Marty and Misty through when I first got into super lates. We had a little traveling circuit that kind of hit Northern California tracks.
Yeah.
He was a coroner at the time, and I was racing against him, and we got to be acquaintances then. And then one thing led to another, and we always just stayed in touch and always kind of became friends or were friends. And you fast forward, I moved to Wisconsin in 07, and that's actually Chris Purdy, the guy's crew chief in Schaefer Motorsports. He was my crew chief when I first moved to Wisconsin. That was a tie-in with them guys now. And then I moved back to California. I lost my ride, broke my knee. Ended up working for Junior Joyner, who crew chief's Matt Crafton's deal. He gave me a shot just to be a fabricator. And then I just started meeting everybody in Bakersfield, including Byron Campbell himself, and Mike Keene, my crew chief, and Dan Smith. And those guys gave me chances to drive.
Yeah.
And then one thing led to another, and here I am standing with you guys.
That's what we was talking about, man. It's just people. It was key.
Yeah.
You surround yourself by right people and getting hooked up with people and being loyal to them. And
A little bit of luck.
yeah, it is. I mean, it goes a long ways. And just being honest is the biggest thing in racing, and being yourself. Just if you build a relationship, being honest and surround yourself by people you enjoy being around and having fun doing it. That's what it's all about. So. We appreciate what they've done and you and the sport and coming out here and hopefully we don't have to follow you on Sunday.
I'm gonna follow you on Sunday. Your Preece's car looked really good yesterday. I was following you for a minute. That thing looked pretty dang good.
Did it?
I thought it looked
good,
all
because
right.
I'm still just trying to figure my way around.
I
here.
can't figure him out,
too
but
tight.
I can't figure him out because
Still too tight.
that's that modified in him though.
turn.
That's modified. I think it's to just kind of roll that thing up and then your ass up off the corner.
Out.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I was like, he's loose off the corner. He's never gonna last, but he always makes it last. So
I just do that for show.
I know how it is. I know how y'all roll.
Sling that right rear out
I figured
for
you out.
Make you think a certain way.
I think we all 3 swap rides. I don't think any of us like each other's rides. Like, this or that, too free, too tight.
I think that's just us as racers, though. We're perfectionists.
I could say out of all the cars, mine is the most different.
Really?
That's a fact.
Oh, mine's way different.
The way it drives.
So he's sitting on like a 3K stop in his right rear. It's wild. 4K.
So I'm just after driving, because I've been with Seneca 2016, I think, and I went and drove the Port City car there the last couple of years, and man, after driving, it's just the feel, and we all got different feels that we look for. I mean, your feel and Ryan's, they're all different. Not saying they're all wrong, but we got feels we look for, and I just couldn't find that feel in what I needed with the other manufacturer. So we'd come back to the Seneca, and it's just right back at home. I knew how to adjust it, knew what I was looking for, but it is different, and it drives different than a custom or a simple, more custom race car, I guess.
Right.
I'm not saying that a Fury's bad, a Port City's bad, a Hamke's bad, or anything. It's just what I like, and what I'm used to, what I'm comfortable in, It's just one of those things, I guess, modified. I don't know if y'all run into it modified. And you got your own little deal you like suspension-wise, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we all kind of find our home, right? Like,
it goes back to working on your own race car, I think, and knowing what you got. And
one thing that I thought was really interesting, it's like when I raced Matt Hirschman and how his car just rolls in through the center and he can be up high, but he'll still drive off.
Yeah.
Same thing was watching you when I was behind you at the Derby a couple years ago with how that thing looks yawed out. But man, it's got some left rear drive.
Yeah.
She comes up off the corner.
Yeah.
So it's different styles where your right front's pinned through the center and you're rolling a bunch of speed, and me, I drive it in until I see Jesus, and then I get her pointed, and then I come up. So we all just have different driving styles.
Yeah.
I have a hard time. I've noticed getting out of the seat and working with kids more often. I have a hard time watching cars.
I can't do it.
I'll watch them like, man, does that guy look loose? Or like, if you think he looks loose, you see you out there. So it's hard. It's hard to adjust and know what you're looking for to help guys out, because it's being behind the wheel for so long. Like you don't get to see that part.
Yeah, you don't, and it's hard for me. I've struggled. I've struggled helping people.
Yeah,
because it's hard for me to look at. That's why I told him. He's like, man, that thing looks terrible. I'm like, it don't drive bad.
I'm starting to think he does that to all of us. He does it to everybody.
Derek and Ty have the worst looking cars. Like somebody says, say you're talking to somebody about Derek, and it's like, well, does it look good? Yeah. Well, then he's terrible.
Yeah.
If it's sideways, it's fast, right? Yeah. And he can drive it that way. Most people can't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a feather in your cap. Like, most people can't drive it like that.
Yeah. That's why I'm so low end. Those Furies always go free.
They are.
And you just gotta be low end and not have the right rear hanging out.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And people don't realize here. I mean, you got to be careful here because you're on the fuel turn down the hill, so it can get free in. I mean, in anything, but the Furies get free in, so you adjust that's what it goes back to, adjust your driving style to that car, and that's the feel I like, how I drive. So I mean, we'll see how it goes on Sunday. It'll be fun.
You asked earlier about the differences with a late model and a modified. The loose end in a late model is so lazy compared to what the modified is.
So it's like a quick snap.
The reaction, you know what? You actually just pointed it out to me. The modified, everything happens, it feels quicker. You can correct it quicker when it comes to going into the corner. But like the late model, it just felt lazier. It just felt like it took so long for it to happen. So it's different. Maybe we'll get you guys a modified sometime so you can
have
feel
a match race right here at Pensacola.
That would be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
I think it'd be cool. We can get that modified race.
40,000 to win show, maybe 50,000.
Hell no, we can't do that. It paid more than Derby.
Huh?
40 would be paid more than Derby.
Yeah. Going dirt racing, sounds like.
So that's on the radar. Yeah. So tell us about your business, what you got going on, helping people.
Yeah, so Derek Thorn Racing is DTR. We have a little shop there in Bakersfield, and this year got to work with like Sean Hingorani, got to go like the Chili Willy and run some races like that. Been working with Jacob Gomes all year in the SRL Southwest Tour. Mike Keene and myself working in the same shop together. So it's been a change of pace, but I've enjoyed it. I got a couple house cars that I rent out when I can. Jake Bowman was a customer this year, and trying to just be smart about it, try to provide a service to these younger drivers, try to take what we've learned with me driving or with my crew chiefing and then apply it and give kids, a feel for what they need to be feeling in a race car. Because I feel like a lot of kids jump into this sport and maybe don't necessarily know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So you try to shorten that gap, and then it's always nice to have a driver close in size where you can hop in and relate and at least try to shorten that. Pretty much I feel like you're just trying to shorten the learning curve for kids. So, been able to travel a little bit, work with Jet Nolan some, getting to work with Connor Jones this weekend a little bit. And it just, doing whatever I can to try to make the business work, the business side of it. But at the same time, I don't want to give up driving yet. Like I'm 37 and, a couple kids at home. I hate being gone 10 days at a time. Yep. That's the hardest part about it. But tough. At the end of the day, if you can find a balance there, I don't want to be gone 40 weekends a year, but if you can find a balance and pay the bills and provide a service to these kids and come out and have some fun at the same time, it's a win-win. Yeah.
So do you do the thing where you're at the track and they're not very good, and then you just get in and show them that it can go 3/10 faster and
that's
humiliate them, or no?
That's usually never, like, the goal getting in it is to try to pinpoint something. Like, hey, the kid, because there's always a gap. It's the crew chief and the driver. And they're going, well, you're driving it wrong. Well, you're setting it up wrong, right? So, like, I try to be the guy that comes in and says, the driver is driving it wrong, or you have a car that's just handling like complete garbage, right? So I try to be that mediator of sorts, and then when I get out, I don't just point fingers, but try to be like, hey, man, like, this thing's got too much bar in it, or the right front is hitting the left front too hard, it's not traveling enough, or the right rear spring's overloaded, something like that to help maybe get them pointed in the right direction. That's usually, I'm not saying they don't like going fast, but it's more or less try to help them get stuff figured out.
So we did talk about Pepper Jack and the Tool Shack earlier. Are there any other sponsors, people that help you, that you want to give a shout out to? Or
yeah, absolutely. Like Marty and Misty at Pepper Jack Kennels, the Tool Shack, Colton Wright and Regina Wright. But like we've had like the Schaefers giving me the opportunity to just go race. That's the biggest nut, and having Chris Purdy and Paul and Paulie. He's a great racer himself, so he steps out of the seat to let me come race at tracks that he's not necessarily a big fan of. But I've had so many people over the years with like Power Grade Incorporated, El Bandito, Yankee Tequila's on board this week, which is real fun. QC Fleet out of South Florida is helping us out a little bit. Rent Source Property Management is also doing the same thing. So it's a culmination of everybody, man, that comes together to make this all work. And the Derby creates a lot of excitement. So I feel like you get people that just want to help you make it possible, right? Yeah. So just to be here and come, like, I feel like every year I get to come do it's a dang blessing. So just to be here and be able to come do it's pretty cool.
Well, I tell you what, we enjoy both of y'all guys coming on. We just, a lot of great talent here. So this weekend will be fun. But we appreciate y'all coming on. One thing that I kind of ask all my guys that we come on is, you kind of, everybody looks at us like in the racing mode, what you are, because you already got a camera on there at the racetrack. People don't see you outside the racetrack. Now I put you on the spot sometimes, but what do you enjoy doing, or what do you people or tell people about that you don't really know about you? It's something different that that people normally don't get to see, I guess.
Right. Your Preece go yet?
You go.
I mean, like people, for example, they always see the, when you're serious at the racetrack and stuff. But when you get out and you have fun, something you enjoy doing.
I always say, man, when you sit down with people and just have a beer with them, like, we all might be competitors, but like, it's easier to not like somebody. Yeah. So that way when the opportunity comes about to put a bumper to somebody, you don't feel bad about it, as bad about it. So you try to keep that disparity. Yeah. But I think being like, just me, since I've had kids are 4 and 6, like, that is it. Like, now that I have kids, that's all I really want to do.
Man, you just have another one. I just had another one 2 days ago.
Congrats, man. I'm surprised the wife let you out of the house.
Oh my God.
My wife right
I got a good wife. She's we said from the beginning. I got a 7-year-old, 4, and a couple of days now, and
everything's going good.
Everything's good. So it's tough at home. Yeah. She does a lot of the work, all the work, but you gotta have a good family. It makes you think differently when you have family and stuff like that.
Sure. So when you hear the baby crying at 2, 3 in the morning, do the old thing the husband does where you look over, you need help?
I do. Oh yeah. She's like, no, I'm good. I was like, good.
I'll go ahead, go back to sleep.
But what's one thing people what do you enjoy doing? What do you do outside of racing?
That's pretty much it. I'm racing and kids. Yeah. That's it. Try the free time I do have, I try to at least do some quality family time if at all possible. Travel, camp, do whatever I can to try to have, like, the kids have some fun, while I'm at home, you know. But that's pretty much it, man.
So you got a girl and a boy, two
Girl and a boy.
Girl and a boy.
Yeah, had 1-on-1 and snipped it. Called it good.
Man, I got 3 girls. 3 girls.
Are
I
they,
told the doc the other day we was in there, and I
pulled the tape off.
The doc, I said, man, doc, I said, you know, I wanted to really have a boy, but I said, Doc, you saved me a lot of money. He's like, no, I mean, you got to have weddings here. And I was like, no, Doc, you saved me a lot of money. You don't realize this racing's expensive. I got an expensive hobby. So, yeah. But I think we're done after this, and we're going to call it quits. If I was younger, man, the kids there's nothing better than the kids. I mean, I love them to death. Like, you see, they grow up different. Like, you raise them the same, but the different personalities come with the kids is awesome. It's amazing. Trying to talk Preece into here and having another one and go ahead and get it done.
Yeah. Man, how about this Derby?
You married yet?
Me?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I've been married. We just had a kid 4 months ago.
So what do you think? I know, man, all you do is race too.
I mean, I'll just repeat his answer. Bye, Derek.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Good luck this weekend.
Good luck, guys.
That was a pretty long list of sponsors, so it sounds like this Berlin thing's probably going to happen.
I know, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you think? All you do is race too, I guess. Nothing else.
We're real exciting people when it comes to outside racing. I don't know. I mean, that's it. I
like
street
to go
cars
fishing.
And I like race cars.
I think
don't go fishing. I don't go.
I think you could, with the way it sounds with your wife at home. I think you could be a farmer.
Cowboy.
Cowboy.
I've watched Yellowstone.
Well, it's a good thing we're stopping the show now.
What is that?
There you go.
So.
Make sure to check out our podcasts on YouTube for the latest content on BSing with Bubba. We will be releasing all podcasts on all major podcast platforms 1 month to 2 months after we release them on YouTube. So if you want the latest and greatest content, make sure to go subscribe, comment, and like on YouTube. In 2024 and in the future, there'll be a lot more Bubba Pollard content on Sport Action Films on YouTube. So make sure you go like, subscribe to that channel as well. Thanks for tuning in to BSing with Bubba, and make sure you comment, like, and subscribe.